Welcome to day 52 of my 1,000 mile solo run across Nepal. I've just started my way up the hill, continuing my route from the temple, Halisi temple that I was at for my rest day yesterday. And I've just climbed a little bit. You can see over here the snowy peaks again. I saw them a couple of days ago, not as well as today. I don't know why, but it just made me really emotional, to be honest. Having seen quite a lot of Nepal, and most of it's been really hot jungle, and just to see the Himalayas, proper Himalayas in the distance, all snowy, it just compounds the kind of enormity of Nepal. Nepal is generally split up into three areas, which run west to east, generally, roughly, around one country. So you've got the Himalayas at the top, very high, including the highest point on Earth, and then the mid-hills, which is what I'm running along. That's where I plan my route, the mid-hills or the foothills. And then at the bottom you've got the Terai, which is give or take around 100 meters above sea level and very, very flat. So there's so much variety here. You've got at the bottom, you've got over 40 degrees, really hot jungle, humid, and at the top, obviously, maybe some of the coldest and highest points on Earth. And just to see it from the route, it's just really special, really special. This is quite a nice view of the area that I spent my rest day, the kind of Buddhist holy area generally, with a few cave temples. You can see it quite well from up here. It's all dotted around, but here with all the prayer flags, that is the monastery that I was invited to yesterday for lunch and dinner. I just checked my map to see what direction the snowy mountains are. And basically, if you draw a line from me to the mountains that you can see where the V of the valleys is generally, that line is the same line, same direction as from me to Mount Everest. So Everest is basically that way. It's very, very unlikely. I'm almost certain there's no way from here to see Everest. So I don't think any of those are Everest, but because basically you have to be really high up to see Everest because it's surrounded with also quite high mountains, although not as high as itself. But yeah, there it is. No wonder. Obviously all the mountains in that area are really, really high. But there it is, the first snowy mountains that I've seen on the route, and it's basically the Everest range. I'm now at the highest point of the entire route. It's actually the second time I'm at the highest point, because this is a little detour, an alteration to my route, and it is higher than anything that I planned. Not by much in the end. I thought it was going to be 2,500, but it's actually about 2,100. Still not too cold, even though it's getting into the colder months in Nepal. I'm still fine in a t-shirt, and that's the reason why I didn't plan to go too high up in this. When I was planning the route, is because I would have had to have brought warm stuff just for the high mountain passes, and it's not worth that weight. So it's been up and down, but I've tried to not go too high up, and it's worked. If I get a little bit cold out here, like if I just stopped, I probably would get cold. But because I'm constantly moving and running, I stay warm. Up hills, I'm sweating up here anyway. The flats now, as it's going to level out now, I just start running. That's going to keep me warm. And in the sun, it's fine anyway. It's only because it's in the shade. It's a little bit cool here. So up in these hills, there are a lot of switchbacks, and for a while I've been following the roads. And basically what you get is, quite often, on the end of a switchback, you can see just a little path going up or down. You check the map, and it's going kind of in the direction of the next switchback. So it's steeper, but it's shorter. So I normally, when I'm going up, I normally follow the road because I like the fact that it's a very steady gradient. Going down doesn't matter too much, as long as my legs are quite fresh. So I followed one of these little paths, which looked like it was just cutting off a little bit of the switchback, and it's just kind of slowly headed in a slightly different direction. So I'm off the road now. I'm off the route. I'm hoping it's going to connect at some point, but who knows. But it's pretty nice, you know. It's just a lot nicer than following the road, so I don't mind. I'm really glad that I did follow that little shortcut with switchbacks. It has taken me to this kind of scenery and this kind of route. So I'm off kind of like a major road and onto these kind of Land Rover track type route. So I was going through one of the villages today, and it's nice up here in terms of it's off the main roads, back into the small little villages where people are just a little bit friendlier and talking a little bit more. And one guy kind of called me over, and I was just like, yeah, okay. I've got loads of energy today, really happy. Started chatting to him. I said where I was going, and he said, "Oh, I know the mayor there," kind of thing. He said, "Go to that village, mention my name, and he'll help you," kind of thing. So I just thought, okay, fair enough. You know, sounded a bit strange. I was kind of a bit wary, but no alarm bells were ringing. So that's exactly what I did. I went to the next village, and I just went and walked into like the first building that I saw, mentioned his name, and there was a shop downstairs, and the shopkeeper said, "Yes, he lives here. How do you know him?" kind of thing. And I mentioned the name of the guy that I spoke to, and they were like, "Okay, yeah, fair enough. He'll be back soon." He came back, invited me to stay. His wife cooked me food, and I'm staying in one of his rooms now.